First flight. In this CBSE board of class 10, you can see two small poems written by the famous poet Robert Frost. Open chapter 1 and go to the last part of it. You can see the first one is Dust of Snow, and following that comes Fire and Ice. Robert Frost, life from 1874 to 1963, was an American poet. He was born in San Francisco, California. However, after his father's death, he had to shift across the country to Massachusetts. Though he grew up in the city, he was poetically associated with rural life. This is all in his every poems. A simple, easy rural plot with a rich meaning. Robert Frost won Pulitzer Prize for 4 times, and these two poems, that is Dust of Snow and Fire and Ice, are taken from one of his prize-winning volume of poetry, New Hampshire. In this video, I am going to explain only the first one, Dust of Snow. Let us read the poem and go through the basic meaning of it. Here, the narrator of the poem was in a very bad mood. The narrator was walking upon the snow, and when he came under the hemlock tree, a crow who was sitting upon the tree moved itself a little bit, and a small quantity of snow fell upon the narrator. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. When the snow fell upon the narrator, it however managed to change the mood of him. Though it was a simple kind of incident, it changed the mood of the narrator from sadness to happiness. At last, he thanked the total time, nature, and that incident for making him happy. Now, let us go to the analysis part. Just think about a situation. Suppose you are sad about something and you are always thinking about that sad part of your day. Suddenly, you saw two little birds are playing among each other outside of your house, or two kittens, they are playfully fighting among each other outside of your house. This kind of silly sights always make someone a little bit happy. Though that is a very tiny incident, but still it has the power to make someone happy for a very temporary span. In this poem also, this incident is very tiny and not worthy to remember, but still it makes our narrator happy. Think about the title of the poem, that is Dust of Snow. The poem is not the poet is not saying that the snowflakes or something like that. He is comparing the snow with dust. According to our daily life issues, dust is not any pure thing. So there's a obvious question that why the poet is describing the snow as a dust, even when it is the chief thing that is changing his mood. Next, the poet walked towards a hemlock tree. Well, this hemlock tree that is associated with this poem is not poisonous. There are two types of hemlock. Number one is hemlock tree, that is in this poem we can see, and there is another hemlock tree, that is actually hemlock plant. This hemlock plant is terribly poisonous, and this kind of poison is related to Socrates. On the other hand, hemlock tree is clearly poisonless tree. Even this poem is also proving that, because the crow can sit on it. Another thing is that In medical world, we can see various poisons are used to make medicines that can heal people's diseases. So, in this way, maybe the poet wants to tell us that we should not believe the appearances all the time. Or we can say, don't judge a book by its cover. Another evil appearance is the crow. While the poet like Keats or Wordsworth, they or Coleridge, they are writing poems upon nightingale, then skylark, then there are many more beautiful birds, but our poet, Robert Frost, is writing a poem on a crow. The crow is always associated with evil. It is always called a dirty bird. Maybe that's why the poet used the phrase as a title, Dust of Snow, as the snow was the result of crow's body movement. So, the narrator of the poem was in a very bad mood, as I have told in before. But this bad mood was healed by three negative appearances. Number one, a hemlock tree. Number two, a crow. And number three, the dust of snow. In Bangla, there's a famous quote, Bishe bishe bishokhoy. That means poison can heal another poison. In this poem, we can see this phrase or this kind of quotation clearly. Here, the poet is giving us a message. All the negative existences on earth are actually brings positivity. Suppose we can say day and night. Day and night, two opposite things, but each of them is very important for our life on earth. Finally, in this poem, the poet decides to move on with positive attitude and thank the nature for saving him from wasting the day. This is what the poet wants to tell us also, that we should accept the change of our life and we should progress in our life. Dust of Snow has many poetic devices like metaphor and alliterations. The rhyme scheme that is used in the poem is actually A B A B C D C D. Now, what is this? Now, you see the first and the third line of this poem, crow, snow, and the second and the fourth line, me, tree. So, for crow and snow, 2A, for me and tree, 2B. So, crow, me, A, B, snow, tree, A, B, A, B, A, B. Similarly, in the second stanza, you can see, has given my heart and part. That means fifth and seventh line. Heart and part. And sixth and eighth line, mood, rude. So for heart and part, C. For mood and rude, D. So heart, mood, C, D. Part, rude, C, D. C, D, C, D. In this way, A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D. This is the rhyme scheme of the poem. At last, see the tiny structure of the poem. Though the poem is little in size, but it has a very deep and rich meaning. We have already gone through that. It also signifies that though there are something happens in our life is very unworthy in size, yet they keeps the power to change our life. This is all about the poem. And if you like this video, you can share, you can tap the like button, you can subscribe. And if you have any question regarding this video, you can write that in comment section. Best of luck.